What's up, traders? Hope you had a great trading day. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is AJ on Day Trader Boom or Bust. It's difficult to make these videos on days like today, but I want to stay true to my objective of documenting my day trading journey for me and for others who may benefit from what I share, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was an example today of how to go from a solid green day to a red one. So let me tell you how I did that. My watch list was a stacked one full of potentials, as you can see here. So in the primary watch list, I had Tilray, which was trading on some news, ACB, which was a bit of a potential a sympathy play on that Tilray news, and then I also had the Mara and Riot as continuation plays based on the bullish Bitcoin movements. And on the secondary, DKNG, Workhorse, PLTR, BNGO, and OCGN, all as continuation plays. I had a lot on the secondary, which I would have fall back on had I not found something on the primary. And I really was focused on this primary watch list. If you want to get this watch list every single day, I post it on my Twitter at AJ Tabayan every day by 9:15 a.m. So let's get into the trading. I ended up trading 5 tickers today: Tilray, TLRY, Mara, ACB, PLTR, and Workhorse. So let's start with, I started the day off really strong, and so I'll say that I probably should have stopped trading after my first 2 trades. First trade of the day was on Tilray. So this is the 1 minute chart. Oh, wait a second. Let's move this over. Okay. So this was a 1 minute opening range breakout. Very solid. And, this is, I'll make a point about this. The last few days, I really haven't been able to get the 1 minute ORB or even the 5 minute ORB to work for me. But the thing about strong playbook, strong strategies in your playbook is that you're playing the probabilities, and they sometimes will not work. But if you are consistent, they should work more times than not. And today was definitely one of those days where it did. You can see the 1 minute. Let me just get this out here. You can see the 1 minute candle here. I went long at the break above this 1 minute candle, which also was a break above the opening price. And then I took my first partial at 2R, another partial here. I believe that probably would have been close to 3R, and this one was probably about 3.5R. It was seemed to be stalling there, and I wanted to hold because I was holding for the break of this pre-market level, which I believe was pre-market high. Let me see here. 1 second. I believe that's pre-market high. And unfortunately, it did not break above that, at least not on this push. And unfortunately, I got stopped out here. Oops. I got stopped out at break even over here. But it was still a solid trade. I think that, let me just double check here. Oh, I think it ended up being, sorry, just double checking here. About the 2R, just a little less than the 2R trade. I think if I had gotten here, it definitely would have been maybe 2.5R, but it was still a solid way to start the day. I was not, I definitely wasn't disappointed with that. So that was a 1 minute opening range that broke out. And then after that, my next trade was on Mara, which, so this trade was what is a trend continuation here. And this is where I started to make some mistakes. And, this isn't an excuse, just a reasoning why this would happen. And so let's take a look at the trade here. So you can see Mara here pushed up and met resistance at this 200 SMA, then pushed down to here, and then bounced off this S2 level, which is a Camarilla pivot point, and then made a really really strong move up. So what I did was that with this trend continuation, I saw it break above this 200 SMA and above this level, so I went long right there. I took my first partial at that was probably about 1.5 R. And the reason I said this was a mistake is that the problem here was that I was trading my P&L, because by the time I had taken this partial, I was up almost 3R for the day, and that's not strange when the day is going your way. But because I've had a few red days and I had a bit of a rough week last week, I definitely didn't want to see red. So I got really jumpy, and I got, I didn't, because I was trading my P&L, I was looking at that and not just playing my plan. And my plan here was that I was going to take most out and maybe leave 25% of my position here at 38, which would have been right about here, because there was a big ask on the level 2. And, I saw, you can see these two candles right here, and it seemed to consolidate here really briefly, but enough to freak me out. And look, I took two partials here and got all out. This was the R1 Camarilla pivot point, but man, I should have held. And if I'd held, I would have got a really, really big partial here that would have put me up probably 2R for the trade. And then I would have just held. And look, it never came back to test my break even. And it just continued. Let me just show you the rest of the chart here. It continued to push up all the way up to here. This was high of day. Like that really would have been a great trade. And I missed out on all that profit. And after the fact, it's easy to look back at on that, and that's where the day started to go sideways. Because although I was up 3R for the day at that point, so that's why I said I should have stopped. All I could think about was that, man, with all the red days that I'd had, this was, the opportunity to really, really make that back. And I made the mistake of not capitalizing, not taking advantage of my strategies working for me. So I continued to trade, which is not out of my playbook, because we'd only taken a couple. Or not out of my rules. I would have allowed myself to take 1 or 2 or 3 more, even if because I still would have been green on the day if those didn't go my way. And I did take a few more. So the next one I traded was PLTR. Man, PLTR can be such a strong runner when it's really running, but it can really, really bite you in the butt if you catch it when it's range bound. And and for me, it's no question that one of the challenges I have to overcome is trading stocks when they're in a range. And unfortunately, I got bit by that again today, because I took a trade here to go short. I saw it double top here, and I thought it would. I played it at the break of this 200 SMA. I thought it might. I thought it would be weak and go down. On the daily also, it had thrown an upside down hammer yesterday, and I thought, it might gap fill. Unfortunately, that came back on me. I got stopped out. When it pushed below again, I went short. I got stopped out again. Those two trades, I'm really not too disappointed with, but because they weren't bad plays. They were planned, and they just didn't work out. And not every trade's going to work out, but it did start to kind of eat at me, because here I was, I'd already missed out on some significant profit, and on the other trade, the Mara trade, which was eating at me. And then now I'd given back some. So I traded again here. So these are trades that shouldn't have happened. I went short here, got stopped out. Then I went long, reversed, and got stopped out. So as you can see, this is the chop, and this is what, it's death by 1,000 cuts, and it just I did that on PLTR. I think that was the end of that, and then I went back to Mara. And like I said, as I went earlier, it went to high of day here. And what it did, let's go to the 5-minute chart. Maybe it's a little bit more apparent there. So what happened here was it came back down, and this is that R1 level. It seemed to bounce off on some decent volume here, and I saw it consolidate, and I thought, when it pushed up above this VPOC level here, I went long, and unfortunately, it came back on me here, and then I went long again, got stopped out. I went long again, got stopped out. This is that first trade, no problem. The other two trades, those are just shouldn't have happened. So that was, I left Mara after that. I just didn't know what was going. And the problem with Mara, not that I would, I really want to be, switching these positions unless I really, really know for sure. But there were no shares for short on Mara on IB. So I left Mara and I went to ACB. The pot stocks were all quite strong for the day. And I just thought that there would be some opportunities here. So here on ACB, this is the 5-minute chart. So let's take a look at, I'm just trying to remember exactly what I was seeing here. Yeah, so hold on. Let's zoom in a bit here. And what happened was, you can see here, it came off the highs here, through this big hammer here off this pre-market level, and I thought it was going to push back above because there was some really big volume at 1650, which was right here, and there was more volume, a lot of additional volume at 1680 and at 17 above the high of day. And because the pot stocks were really trading strong, I thought, it really would at least make a run for those, and I wanted to see how they would interact with those levels. Had I looked at the daily, I probably would have seen that it was really, really extended, but I really felt strong that it was going to at least touch these liquidity levels. So I went long at the break of this hammer. I got stopped out. It came back, and this was so got no problems with that trade. This trade shouldn't have happened. I was premature here. There was really no signal. I saw it bounce off this pre-market level, but I probably should have waited to see it retest that. Fortunately, I got stopped out, and this is where I should have taken the second trade. It went down. There was a bit of an anomaly, really, really big red candle, but not that much volume. So once it pushed back above this pre-market level, then that's where I should have got in, and I did. I got in there. It was a great entry with the stop at the bottom of this candle, and I took a partial here, which was at 2R. I took a small partial though because I really, really felt it was going to run up to this 1650 level, and unfortunately, as you can see here, oh, sorry. It came back, retested this pre-market level, which I thought, okay, that's fine, no worries. It went right back up, and I thought this was going to be the run, and look, it just came right back down and stopped me out. That really bothered me for the day. I should have realized at that point, maybe I should kind of call it a day. But unfortunately, I think at this point, my green day had now was now either flat or red. And that, so this is where managing the emotional side of it is the super difficult part of trading. But you can see this mess here, trade here, trade here. I'm not even gonna go through this. It's just that, I Christmas tree this whole area here. As you can see there, just not good with ACB, and you'll see that on my final P&L. And after that, sorry. So I closed the day off with one final. After all this, I was like, man, that's it. I did keep watching the markets just to see if there was just an undeniable opportunity, and I did see one on Workhorse. So this was Workhorse. Workhorse was such a strong stock today, and if you remember, again, it was on my watch list. It sold off, but after this S2 level, it really just kept pushing off. It was pushing up. It was super strong, and I did keep watching it. And you can see this huge volume spike here on this candle that threw a pretty decent wick on the top side. So I thought, you know what, if it broke below the top of the body of this candle, I was going to try a quick scalp, a quick pullback, not so much a reversal, but a little bit of a retracement. So I did. I went short here, and again, I probably over partialed here. Let me just zoom in there. I over partialed here because I was probably focused on my P&L. So unfortunately, it was a great entry here. Took a partial here, partial here, partial there, partial there, partial there. So, the trade really worked out, and I finally got all out over here. But had I held for, more significant levels, maybe at this this pivot level, and then, maybe an all out at this 50 SMA, that this trade would have returned so much more. Unfortunately, I think this trade only returned about 1.5 Rs, just a quick scalp. I think I could have squeezed out at least 2 or 2.5 R out of this. But so, I'm not going to complain. It was a green trade. It's just, not a good thing to trade your P&L in that way. But that was the day. So this was my P&L for the day. As you can see, I was in the red ultimately, 1.6 R. It was just a bit, a bit of a mess, and it is what it is. The one thing I will take away from it is there was a strong start to the day, and hopefully I can continue that for the rest of the week, and then just manage the rest of the day, or close out my day at the right time. So that was my trading day. Hopefully that helps you out in some way. And tomorrow is a new day. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, plan your trades, trade your plan. Have an awesome evening. This is AJ on Day Trader Boomer Bust. Catch you on my next recap. Cheers.